Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Mill Creek Crossing Connection, brought to you by developer Dan Dolan and Dan Dolan Homes. And with us in studio, we have Dwight Wheelan. And good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
I know as we kick things off, I guess we can safely say that summer is officially over and things are starting to cool off. And we've had the really chilly overnights. But you're warm and toasty in the Dan Dolan home, aren't you?
You bet. You bet. So easy to heat. And it's been so easy to cool in the summer months. But no, we're making progress on the new construction. The drywall was delivered and they started putting it up last week. I saw finishers there yesterday. So that means the electricians and the plumbers are through putting their material in between the studs and drywall area. So I don't know, it'll take some time to get all of it taped and ready to paint, but we'll be having to get some heat in there to dry the moisture out of that drywall mud. But anyway, progress is being made, and hopefully they'll get the furnace installed before long so that workers can continue to work in there. Now they're working with just space heaters. Okay. But that's good to see the progress made. They got the garage doors up. Don't have the front door up yet, but it is getting to where it can be closed up pretty tight. Okay. So if people want to see the inside of it, then when they get the front door up, they're going to have to get a hold of Mary or myself, and we'll have a key to the construction door. But happy to see it moving along. I see they have the area staked out for the deck on the back side of it, and before winter, I'm sure we'll see that deck materialize and be attached to the house. So yeah, it is getting close to it, and the people can see now how well they are insulated and why it is so comfortable. It's hard to believe, but overhead, the insulation is an R50. That's why we don't have a lot of heat escaping through the ceiling or the hot air in the summertime coming through the ceiling. Well constructed. Always remember that they're built to grow old in, and the 36-inch doors make it very comfortable if a person has a wheelchair or walker or something like that. They don't bang up the door facings on each side. All of the electrical outlets will be the old push button kind instead of the little button that you flip. Mm-hmm. Door handles are lever instead of knobs, which is good for those of us that have arthritis in our hands. But it's good to see construction going on. And the last time I talked to Dan, he's planning another house on Garrett Avenue. There's one lot left on Garrett, and he tells me he's going to get started building on it. So we'll have one outside of the homeowners association and one within the homeowners, and that's the difference of being who takes care of the snow removal and the grass mowing. I have talked to the man who does the snow removal and mowing in the homeowners association, and it's just on the next street, and he says he'll treat those people just like they were in the homeowners, only it'll be a contract between the homeowner and them instead of the association. But things are moving along. We're happy to see that.
Now, has very many people driven out and just driven by and looked at things then?
You know, we've always talked about how people drove out when the crane was there setting the rafters. Mm-hmm. There's much more traffic now drive by than there was when the crane was there.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but maybe they're used to it now. It didn't excite people this time. But now we see a lot of activity driving by and stopping and looking at the front. And I wish people would say, hey, let me look in, let me look around. But people just aren't that brave, I guess, when there's construction going on.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is that if people want to go and look at the inside, even while the construction's going on, you'll take them through, right?
You bet. I like for people to do that so that they can see how well built they are. And we started out by talking about the insulation, and people just can't imagine how much insulation he puts into these houses. And in the basement, the basements are very warm in the wintertime, even when you don't have air conditioning going on or a furnace going, because anywhere that the concrete touches dirt, Dan hangs a blanket of insulation.
Oh.
And that is, I don't know how thick it is, probably 6 inches thick, but it keeps that heat from coming out of the dirt into the concrete, and the insulation keeps it either warm or cool, whichever season we're in.
You know, one of the things that I know you've mentioned in the past, and it always amazes me, is that as a kid growing up, I always lived in a very old home. And so in the wintertime, I always remember seeing the blinds blowing in and out
Yeah.
when it's a windy day. You don't see that anymore, do you?
No, we don't. And I also have lived in homes where we saw that and put plastic over the windows.
Yep.
And that still didn't stop the wind from moving the curtains. But no, we don't see that. We just, well, you can't say enough about how they're equipped to satisfy our needs as we grow older. Mm-hmm. And as I tell everybody, Shirley and I have done that in our house. We've lived there 11 years, 11 years, and every morning we're grateful that the Lord didn't have us on that not to wake up list. But no, we've been very well pleased as we moved into that home. We had lived in other homes that were open floor plan, but they were not warm like we're experiencing now. Our furnace, we haven't even used our furnace yet.
Wow.
We have a split system, and I turn that on of a morning, and 5 minutes later, the area is comfortable. It doesn't heat the bedroom, so it's cool to sleep in, but it takes care of all of the area we live in, and we have not turned the furnace on.
I imagine there's a lot of people around going, what? Because, yeah, I think I turned my furnace on for the first time a week ago because it just got too cold too fast.
Well, I'm a firm believer in the split system. My light bill after air conditioning time and running a dehumidifier, my light bill dropped $57.
Wow.
So, you know, it pays for itself in that respect. But no, we're comfortable just knocking the chill off, and then we get used to it, and we hate to lower or raise the temperature, but they're so easy to heat and to cool, and to me that's a great thing to point out to people. And when I was selling homes for Dan, I had a list of my light bill that I showed people for every year I lived out there. And my light bill a lot of times would be half of what the people were paying that was looking at the home. So, you know, it's great as we grow older and have more aches and pains and things like that to think how warm it is. Just flip that switch, and if we want the furnace to run, it knocks the chill off awful quick.
Well, that to me sounds like an incentive alone. Just come at least take a look and see what you have there. And of course, you know, the home they're working on right now will become the new model home when they get that finished up enough, and so then you'll start having open houses again.
You bet. You bet. Hopefully somebody buys it before that point.
Well, that's true. That's true. You could sell it, and then Dan will have to quickly get going on another home.
There we go. That's what has happened now.
Yeah.
The house that he was working on sold so quick that we didn't have anything else to show. So hopefully this new one will be ready to show here in another month, and it won't be finished by any means, but at least we can point out how things are going to look and start having those open houses again.
All right. Well, sounds good, Dwight. I think that runs us out of time. So again, if folks want to get a hold of you or Mary at the area, you know, Mill Creek, want to check out the home, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, I live right behind this model home.
Okay.
So they can come around the corner and knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and we'll go over and take a look.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks, Dwight. It's good to see you again today, and that is going to wrap up our Mill Creek Crossing Connection. Listen every Wednesday morning at this time here on KROS. Mill Creek Crossing brought to you by Dan Dolan and Dan Dolan Homes.